Hey everybody, today we have an Optima. I think this is a 141 or 143. It's a VDH-DNL. I'll put the actual model up here as soon as I find it, but I'm not really worried about the model. It's one of the similar chassis that we see quite a bit, and this was actually sent in by somebody from Reddit who did purchase a replacement lamp because of the symptoms they were seeing. The replacement lamp did not solve it. Not entirely surprised. That's always the easiest thing to do, but you know, it's not always that. So before we fire it up, turn that clutch up a little, let's double check the lamp assembly. I'm going to try and do this without pausing the camera. See if I can do this straight through. Give you guys a real-time repair. I just want to check this. Make sure the lamp assemblies were plugged in right. That was. Let's just give it a look-see. Ah yeah, this is the new one. Okay, good. This lamp is from Pure Land, and you can see it's got, there we go, it's got the right coating on it. And it has, you guys can't really see back in there, but it's got an Osram. Now I do see dust, so she will be dusty. That may have something to do with the error. The problem, believe it or not, I know this is going to shock many of you who are familiar with these. The problem seems to be a color wheel issue. There's my surprise face. So let's snug that back down. Let's plug that connector, make sure that connector's down all the way it is. Let's get that, there we are. That little handle holds the connector in. Yeah, so we got some crud in there. Looks like she just got a little dirty. May have been some bugs in it too, I see. Crust along there that kind of looks like bug detritus or maybe mouse detritus, but it was ceiling mounted. Maybe there was a mouse running around. There we go, snug down. Move the drill out of the way. Let's plug it in. Standby light. Color wheel. Definitely a color wheel. So let's see if it is dirty, if it's just the sensor, or if the index mark came off, which is my suspicion. I'm going on record right now saying it's the index mark that came off. I don't think it's going to need a new wheel, but we'll see. Actually, let me make sure all the pieces are there. Didn't sound like it was spinning off axis. If it was missing a segment, I would expect to hear it make more vibrating noises. Nah, all the segments are there. Just crusty. And I think the foam came up on the bottom. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. Alright, let's get this off. This is always a pain. Let's get these screws out. One, two, three, four, five, six. Let's see, in this one, yeah, there's the data sheet, or data plate, VDH-DNL. I think that's 141 or an HD26. Might be a GT10, I can't remember. It's one of them. Alright, let's get the top off. Let's get those clips popping loose. There we go. Once you get them started, it's a lot easier. Alright. Well, I have somewhat of a theory. And begins with a D and ends with UST. That's definitely a problem. Part of the problem. Not the problem, but part of it. We want to look in here next. In fact, instead of pausing like I would normally do and set the shot up, let's look at it live. Yep, there we are. Make sure it was focused for you. Let's see. Let's get this tape out of the way. I'll put all new tape in, of course. Just want to get these wires moved because I will have to kind of work that. I might have to work that plastic bit out. We might have to take that whole thing out, the basket and everything. But let's take this cover off right here. This is the color wheel sensor. Plug it, see if it's dirty, if it has any dirt built up on it, dust built up. It might. That doesn't look too good to me. That doesn't look good at all. Let's see if we can find the index mark. I think I actually see. No, that's a shadow. Let's see if we got any black mark. We should have a little black sticker one of these moments. But I don't think we do. I think I see where it was. That was right here. Yep, index mark came off. And the sensor is definitely crusty. I'm going to need some cleaning. Let me do that sensor right now, actually. We'll just... I mean, that's really all you got to do. Just get the dust off. This is the infrared transmitter receiver right there. Alright, set that off to the side. Put the screw there. Now to take the lamp basket out, we need to unplug the color wheel wire, the fan. There's only one fan. And then the lamp wire, which is right there. So push that clip down and then just kind of give the wire a little tug. There we are. And then last but not least, we have to unplug that wire right here. This is the door switch. Actually, I think I can leave that. I'm going to leave the door switch. That's not going to be a problem. We need to lift this basket out of the way here. So let's get a couple screws out. Pardon me if my head or hands get in the way. I'm going to really try not to block the camera. Alright, one. I'm actually going to put those in a separate dish because they're smaller. Then let's see down. Where are we at here? Come on, Frank. There we are. Right here. Oh, there's a big old dust bunny. You know, we might end up taking the optics out too. Although I can get in through here. I can get in through there for the optics, so we'll probably visit that if I notice dust on the DMD. Oh, that didn't sound good. Yep, alright. So this screw is probably not going back in. It might, but that plastic down the bottom just gets so hot. Alright, there we go. Actually, let's zoom out just a little bit. Yeah. So we're just going to lift up, straight up. It's going to slide off the color wheel. That bracket. Set that over here. I might be able to glue that back in. We'll look at that. It's not critical. As long as I have the other two, it'll be fine. Dust bunny. Alright, and this is where we have to go. In here. So let's take out the lower screws here. And then these two black ones. Now these are machine threads, so they're going into metal, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Alright, so come on. Did I forget one? Caught. There we go. Yeah. Alright. So you can see there's like a line right there. So what happens, and I'm going to unplug that door wire after all, just keep that basket from being connected, makes it easier. So what happens is that rubber, foam rubber on the bottom picks up, and then it starts digging into the color wheel. Let's see, oh, there's the index mark. I found the, I don't know if you'll see that on my glove. Wait, where is it? There it is. That's the index mark. That's that little sticker. If I can get it to sit on the screwdriver, you can see it better. There you go. So there's the index mark. So we're going to replace that. And I'm also going to, we'll re-glue that back down. I'll get some super glue under there. And I'll also see if we can re-glue that piece. Not too worried, but we'll try. Let me get the brush. Let's get the old paintbrush here. Dump all that junk out. Just kind of go around knocking dust loose. Get the bunnies loose. Get those heat sinks ready. And then I'm going to go get the vacuum and compressor. Actually, I'm going to do this, the top. Let's zoom you out. Do the top with the compressor, and we'll do the bottom with the vacuum. I am going to have to pause for that, unfortunately. Alright, I'm back. It took about 3 minutes. It's just very loud running the tools, and it's also kind of away from here, so it's hard for me to drag the camera. Alright, let's put this back in. Let's see, we'll just do a dab there, just a little bit across there. Let's put this back in. Let's get you guys in a little bit closer. Just push on that a little bit until the glue sets. I'm not quite sure what that does. My guess is noise. You know, maybe to knock the noise down. But I'm not really sure. And let's take a quick peek and see if I have any chance of gluing this back in. Let's see, does it go? Which way does it go? It goes there. Let me get tweezers. I don't know how successful this is going to be. The problem with gluing these screw towers back in is there's so much stress on them when you put the screw back in that twisting it out is not that hard to do. Come on. It's starting to melt it a little. Just doesn't want to play along. It can't quite sit down is the problem. And there's a piece missing. Alright, maybe. Alright, we'll let that sit for a while. Let's get to the color wheel. And zoom you guys in a little more. Oh, that's not in. That was out. So we need to fix this. Boy, it really was running hot. Or is that glue? What the heck? That's glue. Why is there glue on that? Oh, maybe from the light tunnel adjuster. Alright, well, whatever. I'm not worried about it. It's not a concern. Let's pop these two screws out. We'll clean up the color wheel. We'll put a new index mark on it. Then we'll put it back together. And hopefully that little glue piece will be dry by then. And we'll be in good shape. So I want to clean that crud off. And we're going to clean the hub a little bit so that we can replace that index mark. So I'm going to get a microfiber cloth. And where is my lens cleaner? Alright, lens cleaner. So what I'm going to do is I'm not putting any downward pressure. I am rotating and wiping just like that. We'll get the front side that way, and then we'll do the same thing on the back side. You know, this doesn't have to be spotless. We're just trying to get the obvious surface crud off. Let's see, do I need to take this out? Maybe I should. Yeah, let's see. Well, I want a smaller one. No, that'll do it. There we go. We'll go and clean that, but let's get this cleaned up. And we're going to do the same thing. Turn and wipe, turn and wipe. And this will get enough of the crud off that the colors should be a slightly more vibrant. Slightly, you know, the dust really doesn't make a ton of difference because the lights, you know, the lamp is so bright. I don't think people realize how much light comes out of even a 200 watt arc lamp. It's so much light. So it still has that little line, but that's fine. It's not going to affect the image. It was rubbing in that foam for a while, so that's going to happen. Let's see. Let me set that color wheel down. Let's just wipe off the inside. Oh, come on, focus. Hello. There we go. Alright, let's wipe off inside. You know, kind of, maybe it's me, but kind of sworn I smelled end dust. Maybe I just have a mental thing about that stuff, but I swear I smell end dust in here. Alright. So now we're going to put the sticker on, and one way I figure we could look at doing it is I can set the tape on here, and then we'll line up with the blue segment, the edge of the blue segment. Let's see how deep, a few millimeters. So let's get tweezers. Make sure that's going to be right. That looks good. Alright. So that's the sticker. And you can kind of see the spot where it was. So let me just get my fingers in the right spot. Oh, almost. A little far over. So you gotta get right on the edge. That looks pretty good. Just get a little straighter. We go. Oop. Oh man, I hope wasn't out of frame there. If I was, let's just do it one more time before I push it down. So we want to get, again, you can see the edge of the old sticker. So I'm going to get my finger ready to push down. Right there. Oops. Almost. Right there. Yeah. Alright, good. And that stayed in frame. Alright, let's push this down. Just going to use that cotton swab to just kind of work that sticker flat. Make sure there's no bubbles or bits caught underneath. Now you can see it's a tiny bit long. So let's see. I could get a razor knife. I can get a razor knife to clean that up. But let's see if I can just roll those scissors on by, and it looks like I can. Let's see if that did it. Yeah. That little piece off. That looks good. Alright, that'll do it. I'm happy with that. That should work just fine. Make sure it didn't pick up at all. There's a little bit sticker left on there. Let me just Edge of those scissors didn't quite get the end of it. There we go. There we are. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So now, still in frame, kind of. Gotta put this back in. Oh, a little bit of dust in here. Get all that out. No, that's not dust, that's heat marks. Alright, so wire goes back through here. Line that up. Those screw holes lined up, and let's put these guys back in. Now this repair works on any of these chassis as long as they have a good color wheel and just the sticker came off. Like this color wheel, you can see it spins just fine. Doesn't make any noise, it's not grinding, it's perfectly usable. So rather than replace it and, you know, cost an extra 40 or 50 bucks or whatever, this is a better way to go. Now, this wheel will go bad at some point, but not anytime soon. I'd suspect the owner will probably replace the projector before this wheel goes bad. So this is a good way to squeeze a few more years, or longer, really. All right, so then let's get the color wheel sensor, which I did clean, as we saw earlier. I'm going to put that back in now while we're out here. It'll keep any extra dust from getting in there. So let's put this screw back in. Let's bring the projector back over. And this should be nice and dry now. That feels pretty good. That plastic bit that I glued back in, that screw tower. So let's set this back in. We're going to make sure this hole lines up with that pin right there. Make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, there you go. Although you're probably not going to see it. Hang on. Alright, here's a much better angle. So we're going to slide this back down. I glued that foam back down. So we're just going to set this down and make sure that pin pops through that hole, and it did. So the first screws we'll put back in are the black screws with the machine threads, those fine threads that'll help pull this bracket into position and make sure that pin lines up in that hole like it did. Then we can put these guys back in. Let's see. All right, this one. And there it is. Now you have to be careful. The two screws that hold the color wheel bracket in look very similar to the screws that hold the lamp basket in, but they're different lengths. This is the color wheel bracket screw. This is the lamp basket screw. And you can see it's about 1.5 threads longer. So don't mix them up. That one goes in here. There we are. Alright, so that's back in. I'm going to put the color wheel wire over here temporarily. Come on. Because when we slide that lamp basket down, it's going to be in the way at the moment. So let's just, there we are. It gets that out of the way. I'm going to plug the sensor wire back in. Alright, lamp basket time. Lamp basket is clean. going to go back in here. We're going to want to plug, actually I can plug that in after it's back in. So let's just slide it in. So we're going to slide it in, paying attention to right here. That metal bit catches up underneath there, this piece. Like that. See what I mean? Right there and there. And then that slanted bit in the corner, the basket goes to the left of it. So now we can put those screws back in. So the first screw we'll do is this one. Now, it's common for these to break, for that screw socket to break, or this one down here. You really don't need these screws. Once the lamp is installed, that'll push down on the lamp basket. Once the cover's on, that pushes down on it. Then you can see the lamp assembly is going to sit here, so it's going to lock all that in. But if they're not broken, it's better to use them. So let's get that lamp connector now. We're going to plug the lamp connector back in. You could do it with your fingers. I just can get it with the needle nose. So that just pushes in there. Snappy snap. Then we have the fan. Goes there. And we'll get the color wheel and the door switch in a moment. I want to get that one screw for the broken plastic bit that I glued back in. Hopefully it lines up with the hole. It kind of looks like it. Let's see how it does. Go backwards until we feel it drop in. Right there. We'll run it down. We're not going to go super tight. Just right there till it stops. There we go. Alright. I'm okay with that. That actually worked. I was really worried that was going to just crumble and fall apart, but it didn't. So now let's run the door switch. Loop it through the ballast wire, and then to the power supply here. There we go. Remember, it's going to sit in here. Same thing with the color wheel. Spin that around. In fact, I'm going to put the color wheel behind that wire. And I'm not going to put tape yet. I'll tape that after we test it. But we're going to put the color wheel wire back on. Needle nose, let's get the my tweezers got a little bent. There we are. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, so the color wheel wire is going to go right in there. There we are. And let's put that bit of tape back on. That's just to help the connector from popping open. Those connectors are a little easy to pop open. Do the same thing with the keyboard wire. Wires are reconnected for the most part, except for the keyboard wire. This guy. Let's clean this up. Actually, do I have... might have a test keyboard. Hang on. Okay, so before we do anything else, let me put this all back together here, this upper keyboard assembly. I do have a test keyboard with cable and connector, but I want to tape this one up before we use that because I don't want to forget. So let me get some tape. Alright, fresh tape. Put that over that, wrap that around, get that down there nice and tight. Okay, so that's ready. Set that back over here. And here's our test keyboard that will plug in here. And then latch that. Just kind of sit it over there in the front. And let's get our door switch tool that is awesome and totally not just a balloon clip. And we'll put our lamp assembly in. Alright, let's tighten. Got to tighten that screw down before I latch the handle. I think that's going to pop off. There we go. There we are. Alright, that's in, plugged in, plugged in, plugged in. Now let's get some power to it. Should get a standby light in a moment. If I had the keyboard plugged in right and not backwards, the conductor side has to go in. I should have noticed that, but I was too busy talking. There we are. I was going to say it latched a little too forward where I'm used to seeing it. Let's try it again. Alright, there we go. Standby light. Go figure. Then power is the bottom here. The light came on. That's good. Color wheel spinning and it's quiet. Fan came on. There we are, Optoma. That's straight. Looks pretty good, actually. I don't know if that white background is his background or what, but let's check. Let's go menu. And let's see. Let's go to test pattern. There we go. That's what I was hoping to see. So the white background is intentional. White pattern, none. Grid. Alright, so let's go back to menu. And then lamp settings. Wow, those are some high lamp hours. 3336 is pretty high. So let's reset that because it has a new lamp assembly installed. There we are. Okay, I'm happy with this. I'm going to shut it down. Oh, actually, hang on. Let's go back to the test pattern one more time and check the black screen. And see if we notice any dust. Oh yeah, see that? All those little specks. Let's see if we can, there we are. Now you can really see it. So those are, let's see, I have the zoom all the way in. Yeah, looks like the zoom is all the way in. So that stuff is, I don't know if that's on the DMD or the lens. It's probably on the lens if I'm focused, if I'm zoomed that way. If I go this way and saw it, I think that would be on the DMD, especially since I see it going outside of it. It's probably all on the face of the first lens. So let me turn this off, and then we'll try the easy clean first, and if that doesn't work, we'll do the difficult clean. Alright, so the easy clean, we'll try that first. Let's get that out of the way. In here, this little cover comes up, and that gives us access to the internals, at least the optics part of it. You can see we get in through here. You can see the little shield above the DMD. Get my flashlight, you guys can see in there. So there's the shape lens. And there's the DMD on the left. You can kind of see the shape lens there. You can actually see dust on it. Let's get a fresh swab. And let's see if getting that shape lens helps at all. Should probably get my little dust puffer too. I see all sorts of stuff in there. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Not trying to add anything. Alright, I actually saw dust come out, so that's cool. Let's see, shine it in this way. No, I still see some. I might get the compressor. The other thing I noticed is I see dust on the front lens too, but nothing inside, I don't think. Let's wipe that front lens off. See this guy. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. The microfiber. It's better. Still some. Yeah, see, I still see stuff on the DMD. I'm gonna actually get the vacuum and hit that in there. Be right back. Okay, so the mix of air compressor and vacuum. I think I got it. It's a little bit on, what's that piece on top there? It's from that swab that I used. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Alright, let's put the cover back on. And hopefully this did it. Because otherwise, we got to take that whole optic assembly out. And to be perfectly honest, I really don't want to have to do that. I will. But I really wanted to see if this would work. So let's see what happens. Let's zoom you guys out. Let's put my little the clip on. There we go. Oh. gotta plug the color wheel sensor back in, or it is going to be very unhappy. How many of you people saw that? Alright, Optoma is coming up. There it is. Oh, that door switch wants to pop off. Hang on. Alright, so menu, which I can't see. Alright, now I can see. Oops, menu. Task pattern. Grid. None. Alright, now let's see how that is with the lights off. Okay. Not quite sure what we're seeing up top there, what that is, but I think there's a few little specks, but nothing too bad. That stuff up top though is weird. I don't know what that's about. Those little bits, I don't think. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. It's the right thing to do. So the problem, or issue, annoyance, is that we have to take out all the things that I already had out. And I'm probably going to break that plastic bit that I glued. So, unfortunately, that was probably a waste of my time. We'll see, but I kind of feel like that's just gonna spin once, and that's gonna be it. Now I got a screw in there. We'll get that out. Let's see what happens with my... Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Is it loose? Yep. All right. So that little plastic part broke, but that's okay. We're gonna leave it. We'll leave it here, and it will actually act as a standoff. Just point it the right way, and we'll snug it down. Really don't know what kind of good this is really going to do for anything, but oh, see, that's all right. Fair enough. It's all right. Like I said, you really don't even need those screws, but 2 out of 3 is going to be better than 0 out of 3. Now, let's see, this screw, we're not going to take the color wheel out by itself. We're going to leave it screwed to the optics. We'll lift it out with the optics. It'll come out with the lens and the main board. So this screw, this one, come on. So we got one on the other side here. If I can get that out. And one here. Then this one. I'll get that little bracket out of the way. Let's unplug that speaker. Unplug the ballast. And unplug the power supply. Then down here we have, I think, just this one screw. Short guy. Oh, this guy. Also a shorty. So now, there we go. That actually wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be a little worse. So now we need to get to the back of the DMD. So to do that, we're going to take out these two screws. And we got our spring and screw. Set that right here. These are going right back in. And then once we get the heatsink off, you'll see there are a few more screws and then another nut of sorts. Go, we got that one out. See, we have that. Let me zoom you guys in. So these two black ones, get those loose. Then this guy right here. That DMD doesn't look bad. Ah, HD26, there it is. It's a nice projector. I had an HD26. I really liked it. I have a BenQ HT1075 right now that I'm a big fan of. But I would go back to an HD26 and be pretty happy with that as well. Alright, come on. Oh, that's right, there's a screw. Yeah, right here. Gotta get that guy out, that screw. Alright, there we go. There's the DMD. We get a fresh microfiber and we'll clean that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just, if there's any crud that dried on there, let's get it dissolved up and mopped off to the side like that. Then get a fresh, clean microfiber cloth. I'm going to wrap it around my finger, and then I like that. I'm going to set it face down, well, you know, pointing down so it doesn't get new dust on it. Then we're going to look in here. Pop that guy out. That shield, it's going to have to go back in. But let's see how this looks. Not bad. Let's see if we see any obvious dust, and I don't. Let's get the puffer. that back in. Wait a minute. This way. There we go. That's the top. And then we'll set the DMD back in place. We'll put one of these screws in. Sorry for putting my hand in the way. All right. Let's put this screw back here. All right. See, let's wipe the back of that heat sink off to get it ready to reconnect to the heat pad. Just gonna give it a once over, make sure all the dust came out, and it did. Throw that cotton swab out. It goes back here. That goes underneath, and that goes there. Now let's get that started. We'll get this started, and then we'll go back and forth between them so that they go down evenly. There we are. You know, I probably could have left this color wheel wire plugged in. All right. There we are. That's nice and underneath. Behind that spot, and be able to get the basket down without any trouble. Have the and put the that panel back on, so this should slide right on into place. Just make sure our wires are out of the way. Oops. Let's put this one back in. Alright, that's in, that's in. Let's put the rest of the screws back in, and then the basket. And we're only going to put 2 of the screws in for the basket, of course, because that third screw decided it doesn't want to be a screw in. Well, the screw's fine, but the screw threads decided they don't want to be threads anymore. Alright, so those are in. Color wheel bracket. Alright, so now we're going to put the basket back in. Same thing, make sure it gets down all the way, make sure that's on the left, all that fun stuff. That'll go back under there. There we are, that goes in there. Now we'll put 2 of the basket screws back in because that third screw is not going to do it. There we are. Then this. Can't forget this guy. It's got to go back on. There we are. Now like that, get that little clip back on and get it in a better spot. You know what, I'm going to try something. I'm going to trim the end of this. I'll show you what I mean. That goes flying. So that I can kind of get it there under an angle. Let's get it. There we go. See, now it can sit in there a little tighter on an angle. So let's get the power cord again. Oh. Helps if I plug the lamp cable back in. Works so much better. It's funny how much better those lamps work when the wires are connected. There we go. Let's try it again. Let's see. Standby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. Alright, much better. Get that straight. You guys pointed at it. Menu. Alright, now let's see how this looks with the lights off. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. Much better. Look at that. We got a little, maybe something there, and maybe something there, but it's way better. We're calling this good. You know, eventually you hit a point of, I forget what the word is, but come on, Frank. Declining returns. Whatever I know I'm getting that wrong. I'll put it up here if I figure it out. But this is good. Let's get this put back together. Power off. Disconnect my test keyboard. And this let me mark on here. This is for a HD26 and friends. So I'll have that for other tests. Now let's put it back together. Let's take that off. The top is clean. I do need to clean this door. Let me go do that. Okay, so let's get. See that tape? That tape didn't work out well. Get a fresh piece. I think I may have touched the back of that and caused that. So let's get a fresh piece here. There we go. Sure I don't touch it. The only problem with this tape is if you touch the sticky side at all with your fingers, it's just done. It doesn't want to play after that. Then this side, you gotta get this. I've tried get away without putting tape on this one, and it doesn't work. That connector will pop apart at the lightest breeze. One time I even fixed one for a guy. I sent it back to him, and I tried to use the original tape, and that tape fell off in shipping, and then the wire popped out, and fortunately, he was able to put it back in, but I felt pretty stupid. But that's how you learn. Alright, so again, the tape's job is to hold that connector shut, so I'm going to do it that way. Push it on the plastic, that'll be good. Alright, so then just going to set the top back on. Oh, let's get that. Ah, dang it. I didn't mean to do that. Frank. You pulled the clip off. Alright. Let's see if we can get that back in. See, I moved that just a little too far, just a smidge. It was barely too far, but it was enough. Doesn't need much. see, that goes there, and I'll fold it up. Nope. I got that back on. It was not fun, and I'm not reusing that old piece of tape. You have to get all of those little metal pins to come up through the connector. They sort of act as a spring, I guess, and help with latching it into place. And so let me get a fresh piece of tape here. Where the heck is the end? There it is. Alright, yep, so that'll work. So that's ready. Oops, wait a minute. There we go. Now, carefully, ever so gently, no. Let's see, is that in? Almost. So we need to set this down so that the zoom is in the center. I'm gonna line up that guy. I think we got it. Yeah, on it. Good. Let's start snapping this together. And then we'll get our screws. Just keep working my way around. Pardon me. Middle one is good. And the last one. There we go. That's good. Looks good. Now let's see if I can clean that crud off this microfiber. Is beat now, so I'm just going to soak it with some alcohol and see if we can clean that crust off, whatever that is. I don't even know what it is. It looks like bug or rodent mess. Alright, that's good enough. It's not going to be perfect because you don't see it anyway. I mean, it's hidden, but I just don't want it to be a problem. So we got that all back together. Top is on. That's good. That's good. Let's do one more test here, starting it up. And then if that looks good, we'll take it over to the other spot and run it on the Raspberry Pi, get a picture on it. And we'll put that back on too, of course. There it is. Get it focused. Yeah. Wait for it to come up to brightness here. Looks good. Buttons work okay. Let's see. Menu. Source, all that stuff. Alright. I'm going to take it to the other side and let's test it out. There we go, and it's running. It is running well. The picture is way too big to fit on the screen. I'll show you guys. There's the screen. Let's restore. Bring that video back up. Actually, I can just do it this way. So I'm going to let this run for a while. It should be fine. I don't expect to have any issues. So I just want to play a nice video for a little while. What do we got here? Earth Ultra HK 8K, which this is not 8K, but that's fine. I just want to have a full screen video so I can cook this thing a bit. And you can see we even have a black screen here and we don't see any dust blobs. So the color is very crisp. It's not really coming through well on the camera. It looks more blue. I'll see if I can color correct that in editing to show you guys how good this actually looks. So I'm going to let this run for a while and then I'll be back to wrap up the video. So there you have it. That's how to repair the color wheel index mark. If you have an HD26 like this one, or HD 141, 143, 146, GT 1080, GT 1080 HDR, Darby, something like that. All those different models. Anything that looks like this. Or really any DLP projector. If that little sticker comes off the color wheel, all you have to do is get some of that black transformer tape that I used, or some of the high temperature tape you can get. But this will do it. I'm going to wipe that lens off one more time. Man, that dust just sticks right to it. But yeah, there you go. If you have any questions, stick them down in the comments. If you need a replacement lamp assembly for one of these with the proper UV-IR filter and a proper bare lamp inside, check the description. I'll have a link with a coupon code. If you made it this far in the video, consider hitting that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, helps me out, and leave a comment anyway, helps the channel. But most importantly, as always, thank you for watching.